So we're very excited about our presenter, Barbara Sibree-Rodriguez, and she's going to be sharing information on productivity tools that we think will be helpful for all of you on the call. Before we go to Barbara, I just want to take a minute to share a little bit about the group that organized this. The Work Search Buddy Network is a group that supports both individuals seeking their next job role and working professionals. And so members come together in forums like this to be able to share and learn new skills and be able to build and market their personal brand, and as well have an opportunity to make meaningful connections with the other people attending these sessions. And so we have events like this, and we're also going to be hosting lightning talks by our members where they'll speak on a topic for like less than 15 minutes, leave some time for questions, then we go on to the next person. And we're also going to have interactive group discussions. So a lot of exciting things, and we are a meetup group. And so if you are interested in joining and hearing about future events, you can go on meetup.com and put in a search for Work Search Buddy Network, and we'd love to have you. So just a few quick housekeeping notes. Please have your mics on mute. Barbara will be going through her presentation and speaking for about 25 minutes, and we'll take questions at the end. And so if, as she's going through, you think of a question or something you want to share, snip the slide number, jot it down, or also feel free to use the chat box to enter your question. We'll be sure to get to those at the end. And as I mentioned, we do want this to be a meaningful networking opportunity. So please feel free to input your information, your 30-second pitch with the URL to your LinkedIn profile, so everyone can connect with each other. So let's get started. And Barbara, I'll stop sharing my screen so you can get set up. Great. So our speaker today is Barbara Sibree-Rodriguez, and she is an accomplished executive assistant who is known for helping make the lives of executives easier and more organized. And so she's going to share information today on productivity tools that can help all of us be more efficient in both our work and personal lives. And so Barbara, I'm going to let you take it away from here. Barbara.
Thank you. And I'm just adjusting your picture so I can see more of my presentation. Just give me 1 second here, please.
Great. So just so you know, I can see your slide
Okay.
that gives your background.
Okay. Alrighty, so I just want to thank you all for coming and welcome you to my productivity tools overview. It's Barbara Sibree-Rodriguez, as Marla mentioned, executive assistant, and I'm committed to excellence in service. This document is based on my experience, my research, and my passion for productivity. As you can see, I like to use quotes. They say what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to express. So here's my first one regarding productivity. Focus on being productive instead of busy. Next, I'd like to discuss the outline for today and let you know that we're going to talk about what is productivity and why is it important. Then we're going to discuss what are productivity tools, who uses productivity tools and why, what are the productivity tool categories. We're going to talk about project management versus task management. And we're going to talk about examples of widely used productivity tools. And then I would mention my summary, my key takeaways, and my tips for productivity. So let's start first with productivity. What is productivity? It's the various measures of the efficiency of production. And as I mentioned, here's another quote. Efficiency is doing better what is already being done. So in regards to efficiency, an example of that would be don't work longer hours, make the hours worth more, and focus your efforts on getting more done in the same period. Now, why is productivity important? Cost savings and competition are two of the driving factors. And Another quote, productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. So, regarding productivity, did you know that not getting enough sleep is making us less productive? Not getting enough sleep costs the U.S. employers up to 411, are you ready? $1 billion in productivity each year. Now, 1.2 million working days are lost each year due to insufficient sleep. And if you get only 6 to 7 hours sleep a night, you personally lose 4 days of work productivity a year compared to your colleagues that sleep 7 to 9 hours. So basically, we should all try to get more sleep so we can be most productive. Now, productivity tools have a purpose in our everyday lives, both at home and at work. For organizations and individuals, it's essential everyday computing tasks are made more productive and efficient. And if you think about it, productivity software tools make these tasks, lists, charts, graphs, costs, and employee management, and so much more are easier to do. Now, productivity tools increase our efficiency. They help you stay focused. They help you manage your tasks. They make the most of your time. And they remove time constraints from mundane tasks so that your work is able to be focused on creative and being productive in your tasks. Now, along those lines, I used to guess at how much time I was spending on things, my job search lately, wondering if I was allocating enough time for such an important thing. And then I started tracking my time, as you can see here, on a productivity tool called Harvest, which I'll be mentioning later, and it made all the difference. Now, if I'm not spending enough time, I can see that and I can make adjustments to my schedule so that I correct it and I do spend the right amount of time on my job search, which puts me at ease. So that's one huge advantage to using this productivity tool. Now we're going to talk about categories of productivity tools. I'll give you a few examples of the categories and an example or two of many of the productivity tools in that category. This is the product software tools that we'll talk about, and specifically the categories that we'll mention are project and task management, communication and collaboration, time management and time tracking, file storage and sharing, note-taking, and goal setting. These are just a few of the many, and listed below them are a few of the software tools that you can use in these categories, and we'll be discussing these as I move along. Now that I've given you some of these examples, though, I wanted to let you know that I do know that people still prefer paper sometimes as their preferred tool of choice. For instance, to-do notes and things like stick notes. I recently came across an article. It was Fast Company. It was on September 5th, I believe, and Justin Pott was the author, and he was doing this from a company called Zapier. His article noted that you can use paper or a combination of paper and software productivity tools. It even mentioned that there's a full-blown sticky note Kanban board. So those are options for some of those people as well, but we should know that they may not work as well for teams, especially in this remote environment, but we are keeping those people in mind. So now let's begin with the productivity software tools that I mentioned. And the first one we're going to discuss is project and task management. So regarding technology, product and task management, you can visualize your entire project, you can implement effective management strategies, and you can maximize your productivity and your efficiency. And there's project management software that helps you do this. It comes equipped with task management capabilities because you can't be an effective project manager without being a good task handler. You have to be able to handle your own tasks. Now, the cloud-based tools allow you as a user to plan, assign, prioritize, and track the status of the task for the team with ease and efficiency. And an example of this would be workboard.com, which helps you handle your objectives, your results, your actions, and your decisions by keeping them all in one place. For instance, you can align your OKR, your objectives and your key results, and you can keep them in line of sight. And then you can also measure your results objectively, and you get continuous good contextual data so that you can make good operating decisions. Now, the takeaway here is you'll see that project management software is used for both project management and task management, and that the time and effort saved driving these results and the accountability is massive, which again will help you maximize your productivity and your efficiency. Now we're going to talk about task management. It's often exclusively used for repetitive and independent tasks, and it doesn't matter if you're working alone or part of a large project team. If you need to strategize and plan your workflow process for your different tasks, it's made for you. And here is an example of that, which is monday.com. Now, when to use project management? If you deal with a lot of things at once, assigning and tracking, and you have to plan the project scope, or you have to monitor your resources and your progress, and you want to negotiate with different parties, create invoices, and much more, that's when you need to use project management. And if you have to be an effective task and project manager, then again, you can see that monday.com can help you in that regard as well. It's a great productivity software tool that you can look into and potentially use. Now, here are the examples of the productivity tools that I mentioned earlier, including personal and team advantages. The first one is communication and collaboration, and specifically Zoom as a communication and collaboration tool. For personal utilization, it can be used for family or friends when in-person gatherings are not an option. And for team utilization, it allows for members at multi-location locations to meet face-to-face, and it allows these same members to share documents via the share screen capabilities, and it cuts their travel time and costs associated. Now, on a side note, everyone knows Zoom. Everyone is on Zoom. We're on Zoom right now. So Zoom is one of the dozens of video conferencing services that has risen to the top in this new era of social distancing. And along those lines, did you know that daily downloads of the Zoom app increased 30 times year over year? The app has been the top free app for iPhones in the United States since March 18th, and daily users spiked to 200 million in March, up from, I don't want to say only, but 10 million in December. That's a huge spike. So, as noted earlier, additional communication and collaboration tools, an example would be email, Skype, Slack, Microsoft Teams, etc. The next category we'll discuss is time management and time tracking. And we're going to talk about Harvest, the tool that I mentioned earlier. For personal utilization, tracking your time allows you to identify the activities that you're misusing or wasting your time on. And for teams, the reports help the teams and the management monitor the time that they're using to maximize their efficiency. If they have to bill clients, it helps them do that accurately. And then, again, as I noted earlier, another example of time management that you may be familiar with, a time tracking productivity tool called Calendly. Next is file storage and sharing. And we're going to talk about Google Drive File Stream. File Stream is another name for Google Drive in the cloud storage. And the files are available to offline access. They sync back to the cloud when you're online, so you get the latest version on all your devices. And you're able to access these files directly from your computer without impacting all of your disk space. So you spend less time waiting for files to sync, and you spend more time being productive. The MyDrive personal utilization, it's a great file storage for organizing all of your documents, and it's free with a default of 15 gigabytes storage. You can buy or pay for more storage if you need it. Now for Teams, the Team Drive utilization, it's a shared file system, so your whole team can edit and access the required files, and it minimizes the amount of company data that's stored on the user's hard drive. Now, Dropbox is another example of a file storage and sharing productivity tool that you may have heard of. Next, we're going to talk about note-taking. The first tool that we're going to discuss is Evernote. For personal utilization, notes can be accessed through multiple devices, such as your phone, your computer, your tablet, etc., so you always have access. And the notes and ideas can easily be organized into notebooks, which are like files. Now, your checklist can be created and updated, so it makes your to-do items manageable. As far as Teams and team utilization, when used with other productivity tools like Zoom, detailed notes can be shared. The next is OtterEye. As far as personal utilization, voice conversations can be turned into smart notes, and then you can easily search and share for them. You can take notes during your meetings, your interviews, etc. And you can capture your thoughts and your ideas even while driving in the car, if it's okay to mention that. Now, you can transcribe your existing recordings and podcasts. And this last one is very interesting as well. You can snap photos during your recording. So for instance, if there's a whiteboard or a speaker presentation slide that you want to capture, you can do that while you're recording, and it will be inserted in line into your transcript. Which is cool. So for team utilization, you can transcribe interviews, podcasts, and video conversations, and you can provide live captioning for accessibility at events and conferences. And you can share your rich meeting notes with your summary keywords, your highlights, your photos, full audio transcripts. And it empowers the team with collaboration and productivity because they have easily been able to share and search across all their conversations. Next, we're going to talk about goal setting. And this one's very interesting as well. This is called Habitica. It's for personal utilization, a free habit and task management productivity app. And it treats your real life like a game with rewards, punishment, a social network that can motivate and inspire you. And it helps you achieve your goals, whether that's becoming healthy or hardworking and happy, but it helps you achieve those goals. And for your team utilization, you can share tasks and you can assign and approve completion. And it can be used by anyone with overlapping tasks. That could be your family, if you want to use it for your family. It can be for health and wellness organizations, employee teams, and many others. And one of the main benefits is you have additional support and accountability, so you're not on your own. Now, those were just a few of the many productivity categories and examples. Next are my key takeaways and then my tips for productivity. So the first key takeaway is productivity tools make your everyday tasks more efficient. Most of these essential everyday computing tasks can be tackled with productivity tools. If you don't have the productivity software, it's hard to imagine how hard it would be to create these tasks on your own, you would need to go through many more processes and it would just take a lot more time. So all that extra legwork and coordination that you would need would not be the most efficient use of your already busy day. Your productivity tools enhance your project efficiency and it results in time savings and operational cost reductions. And as far as my tips for productivity tools come in a wide range of software. Sometimes they're bundled together or sometimes they're offered separately. I would advise that you find the tools that apply to your needs. Some of the ones I mentioned or any of the many additional ones that there are. And then you download and acquire these tools and you need to start practicing and you become efficient. And then you're able to reap the many benefits that we mentioned, the cost savings, time savings, etc. Now, a lot of people think that motivation is the cornerstone of all productivity. So they believe that with simple or low motivation, you're going to have a lack of productivity. And if you ask, how can you make sure your motivation is high? One way to do that is inspiration. And there are a lot of motivational productivity quotes out there. Here's a couple that I found. Lost time is never found again by Benjamin Franklin. And until we can manage time, we can manage nothing else. That was Peter Drucker. And I've listed a site there. It's called 101 Productivity Quotes. So if you want to add these to your personal calendar each day to help keep your motivation up, or just reference it every day, that might be something that could help you do that. Now, I would ask you, what are your favorite productivity tools? Does anybody have anything that they would like to include or mention?
This is Barbara. I'm sorry. Hi, Barb.
Hello, Barbara.
I'm waving. My video isn't working for whatever reason. I did start using Harvest, and that I find very helpful. And I did some quick researches on the Kanban because I used some software at my last job that had a Kanban function. And it's like you have these little sticky notes or lists and you just slide them from the column to column. And I found it very helpful for that. So I'm going to see if that helps me with this as well. But again, like you said, the motivation is the hard part.
Yes, it can be true. Anybody else have a productivity tool they want to mention or one that they've heard today that they may want to look into? Okay, well, I think, Marla, we might have a minute or two for questions.
Oh, go ahead, Becky.
Oh, I'm sorry, Becky.
Hi, Barb. That's okay. I didn't know if I should interrupt. I just have I actually have two questions. First, I just want to say, excellent job. I'm so impressed. I learned so much today. So I'm really glad I really appreciate you inviting me. I have a couple of questions. One is, I'm going to actually try one of your tools, the Habitica. There's two. I went to go download it. There's two of them. One says productive habit, and the other one is like a gamified. Which one are you recommending? There's two.
I honestly have not used either one.
Okay.
That's why I put the reference out there that
Okay.
on your usage, you want to check everything out. I just like that there's so many people that are into the gaming that if they take those skills that they like and apply it to their daily life, it might help them be in a realm that they're comfortable with. So I thought it looked like a good help to look into if those were your interests.
Okay, well, maybe I'll try them both and see which one I like.
So let me know.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
And then my last question was, in my last job, I noticed a couple of things that I had to use or download, and I saw it on your presentation called Dropbox. What do you have any knowledge about that, or is that just one of the things you were recommending? I don't really even know what that is.
Again,
I'm just curious.
In a similar situation because I knew it was one that was out there, but I haven't looked into it. Has anybody else
Yes, Barbara.
for
I'm sorry, Barbara. You can't see me. I'm raising my hand over here.
Oh.
I've used Dropbox. I've used Google Sheets. I've used the OneDrive. Basically, they're all the same thing. Most of them have a limited amount of space, a limited amount of storage. You know, and it depends on who I'm working with, what they use. What I found is I was using a little bit of this and a little bit of that, depending on what I was doing, and then I couldn't remember what was where. So, you know, basically it goes back to what Barbara said, you know, do your research, make sure that you can get enough storage for what you need. They're all very simple to use.
Thank you for sharing that, Barbara. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Does anybody else have any questions? Christine, any?
Questions? Thank you again for the presentation. I think you did a great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming.
I think one of the tools that I might look into is the Otter. I know a lot of the job descriptions that I've looked at are talking about note taking and minute taking and things like that, and that's not one of my strong suits. I haven't done that in like 100 years. So I'll definitely look into that one.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing, and you can let me know how it works out for you in case I need to end up using it as well. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your coming, and it's been my pleasure to share this overview with you. I look forward to finding the productivity tools that work for me, and I hope you look forward to finding the ones that work for you as well. So thank you again, and good luck. And Mara, it's up to you.